Alright. Top enemy of 2023.
Well, it's that time again. Another year has passed us by, and with it has gone another year of anime. We got good shows, we got bad shows, but the real question is, what are the moments that are going to be remembered? 2023 was a year dominated by absolute heavyweight shows just completely taking over. Anime seemed inescapable whether you were a fan or not. Successful live-action adaptations, legendary series coming to an end, memes, so many memes. It feels like the influence of a handful of shows have truly seeped into mainstream pop culture and only continues to grow from there. But there were still some other things happening
Don't show
around
the
our little
Fortnite
sphere.
thing,
Anime
Giga.
fans
We're
continue to
not
find
talking
any
about
opportunity
that.
to complain about CG.
We
This
don't
time
talk
even
about
Demon
that.
Slayer was catching strays, with viewers complaining about how these fishes look like an absolute joke. How dare any animation studio consider this acceptable quality, they cried. Meanwhile, in Isekai land,
あれは害獣だ。害獣？
this is what peak CGI looks like. Tagashi drew
That's
2
what-
lines and got
Yeah,
44
I thought
million
the
views,
fish were
400K
fine.
likes and 100,000 retweets. Meanwhile,
Guys, I thought the fish were fine. Oh, the Fortnite thing? What Fortnite thing? So Jujutsu Kaisen is on Fortnite now. And someone literally said, when I said Gojo's a cool character, they were like, the guy from Fortnite? Let's just say, I can't watch Jujutsu Kaisen for a while after that.
while I'm out here drawing at least 8 lines and I'm still waiting for Shonen Jump to hit me up with that manga deal, One Piece defied all odds by giving us a live-action adaptation that didn't suck, while the Jujutsu Kaisen fanbase came together to collectively say, nah, I'd win. Which is what I think they say when they enter a contest of who can more effectively spoil their fucking series. But they would probably win against this random dude from Mashal.
I am Rhodes Emus!
I mean, look at him. He lasted like 2 seconds. Who the hell would play a character like that? Probably some dumbass hack. For real though, it's been 10 years now
Wait,
since I've
he
been
was-
doing these yearly anime recaps. I have
Giguk! Giguk got a gig. Good job, Giguk. Good job. Good job.
gone through a bloody decade of anime, and a lot
One Punch Man, there's One Punch Man's coming back soon.
has changed during that time. I can only imagine the wild things that were happening in 2013 back then. Hayao Miyazaki finishes his latest feature film, The Wind Rises, just before announcing his retirement from filmmaking at the ripe young age of about 197 years old. So that was a fucking lie.
That man can't stop making anime. He always comes up with a new, like, amazing story. Like, can we just accept that? Man's a goat. And he likes his anime the way he he likes his story the way he likes it. That's why he's not exactly the nicest boss, because he doesn't want people changing things.
There are a lot of shows that didn't make my list this year, not because they weren't good, but because I didn't have much to say about them other than it was good. Hell's Paradise was fun, so was Mashal,
I wanna
so was
watch Hell's
Undead
Paradise.
Unlock. One day I'm sure the West will
Unlock
appreciate
is hilarious,
Musume
I
as
like
much
it.
as Asia does. Today is not that day. Mushoku Tensei continued my favorite isekai story of all time by having its main character
I want you to know.
go.
Probably
cannot
bad
get
seeing the pause on. I want you to know that is my favorite anime of last season.
People have been trashing Rudy left, right, and center, but I think he's proved he's a real gentleman by showing that he never, ever raises his sword at a girl. Alright. The zombie genre is probably one of the most saturated and overdone genres you can find in any entertainment medium. About 10 years ago, yet somehow in 2023, we still got an entirely fresh and original take on it in
Tricky
Zom
chat.
100. Zom 100 tells the sad story of Mappa employees, overworked and undervalued by the company overlords
Yeah.
that run their lives.
Here's my thing about Mappa. Beside Mappa. Was all 100. Why would you create a story in your story only to leave it on a cliffhanger? Frick you!
It takes an entire zombie apocalypse for Akira Tender to start living the life he should have. This show felt like a personal call out for anyone who's ever worked a dead-end job in their lives and has daydreamed of something anything happening to take away their responsibility out of their hands, even if that thing is the end of the world.
Stinky.
Akira
You're
personifies
stinky.
that feeling of
Jack's
pure
stinky.
freedom we all secretly wish we had. That feeling that breaks the shackle of responsibility of having to go to work, of having to wake up for school the next day. Eren Yeager looks at him and goes, "Fuck that guy," which is embodied in one of the most impressive opening episodes all year, where you could feel that every single person working on it channeled their passionate hatred of all the previous employers that had ever wronged them. Unfortunately, it felt like a lot of the hype got taken away, largely due to episode releases being plagued with constant delays because of time slots and supposed production issues. Oh hey, would you look at that? Even though the show lost some steam as it went on and was tonally a bit all over the place at times, it was still a fun little show I think anyone could enjoy, because in this day and age where it feels like people are fighting tooth and nail just to survive, I think a lot of us could use a story about one man reminding us all how to live.
How to live. Find waifu. Live.
The most respected genre in anime, but this year we saw the 100
Oh,
girlfriends
my favorite! This is my favorite!
who love you come along and personally made sure that it never will be. This is the story of a man who got rejected so many times, who had such negative riz. God took pity and gave him 100
this was a
different
story
girls he
within
had
the
to
story.
date
There was
or
a
they
story about
all
those host
died.
club
This
guys
is like watching someone dying of
protecting
thirst in the desert,
their
and then
building.
God goes, "All right, I've got a solution."
The
Just fucking
main
drown him.
host
But
and the
what
little
God didn't
girl
plan for is
survived.
that he chose someone who could chug the ocean dry and still have room for more. 100 Girlfriends has a concept so dumb, it would need to be as batshit crazy as
never
its
went
own
back to
premise to
them.
even have a chance at making it work. And that's exactly why it does. It's stupid, it's unhinged, it knows exactly how insane it is, and then runs with it 10 kilometers past where it needed to go. By all means, this show shouldn't have worked if we didn't have the greatest harem protagonist to bring it all together. Yes, we were Grace with the apex of boyfriends, the partner she tells you not to worry about. He may look like the most unthreatening guy possible, but watch him be like, "Don't worry, I come in peace. Hi, what's your name?"
Peace.
It's rare for me to laugh at a comedy anime, and even rarer when it comes to lowbrow harem rom-coms, but 100 Girlfriends was a showcase of how to do a parody correctly, reinforced by Biberi Animation Studio doing a bang-up job selling all of these jokes in the anime adaptation. They went above and beyond, and I can't wait to see how they adapt the manga beyond the whoa, wait, what, why are you all running away?
Even for Tom Cruise, he does say that, doesn't he? Forgot about that. Trigun Stampede.
In the minds
was
of anime
pretty good.
fans, 3D animation comes in two tiers. There's the Berserk 2016 tier, a show so disastrous it has scarred the anime community from 3D anime to this day. And then there's this, the aesthetic that looks like one of those games I apparently won't last 5 seconds playing. The real ones know though that Studio Orange has been out here creating their own tier. Every project they seem to continually push themselves, one-up themselves, and Trigun Stampede is their best looking show yet. Not just with some of the jaw-dropping action sequences and camera work, but small micro expressions and camera animation that give their work just a bit more life. They are still continuing to push the boundary of what is possible in a 3D anime in every way possible. When I got the lucky opportunity to talk to a producer at Studio Orange, he called themselves the hentai of the anime industry, and well, that's pretty accurate because what they've done with Trigun Stampede has got me bricked up. Alright, but how's the show? Trigun is one of the most beloved anime from the old school Adult Swim era.
I
And when you
really
take on
did
the
love the
mantle of
original.
rebooting a franchise like this,
Dude,
you
'cause y'all
always
had
have to
me watch the
contend with
original, and
picky
then I
fans
watched
comparing
the
each and every little change in detail. Vash's
change
bounty is
one
way
off
smaller. He has a
stream.
different haircut, different gun, character designs that looks like this,
Like,
now
out
look like
without
this.
you guys,
Huh.
and
Now where have
I
I
really
seen this
liked it.
aesthetic before? Oh. The spaghetti western feel takes
Why
a
you gotta
backseat
do
to
us
fully
like
flesh
that?
out a hard
Why you
sci-fi
gotta say
story.
that?
It's more
I
dark,
loved
more
old
gritty.
Firefox
One of my
logo,
favorite things
and
from
now
the
it looks
original being
crappy.
Vash and Wolfwood's epic buddy cop dynamic feels a tad more intense.
I'll skin you alive and play with your bones until you're begging to die. You got that straight.
Wolfwood.
Make no mistake, this is an entirely new Trigun, but one thing I can always respect is when a reboot tries to do something different that the original didn't already do, and by the end of the season, it becomes abundantly clear what all these changes were leading up to, and goddamn did it leave me wanting more. In a time where I feel like we're getting starved of good, hard science fiction anime, this has to be one of the most unique and interesting sci-fi worlds we've seen in years, and I honestly think the way things are set up, it has the chance to do even more than the original did if it gets future seasons. When people
say we
remember
could
Trigun,
totally
they
get more
say,
seasons
"Oh
of
yeah,
it. Well, how good
Trigun.
it
I
did."
freaking loved Trigun." But if you asked them before that what they recommended we go back
Let's
and watch,
be honest
Cowboy
here,
Bebop,
didn't
Full Metal
he give
Alchemist,
off the
Trigun has always
Twink
been on that
vibe
second or third echelon of
in the
recommendations
original, though?
behind the classics. And I fully
'Cause he's
believe
all
that
like,
with what Studio Orange have
and
set up
stuff.
with this season, it has the potential to
And
go
his
up
main
to this
quote
tier.
is love and peace, love and peace. All I want is love and peace.
There were few anime last year that exploded onto the scene as fast as Oshinoko did. Our hearts were torn to shred in a tragic 90-minute opening episode. A new meta was formed as anime companies saw the feature-length opening premiere and said, wait, you can do that?
Category?
It's free real estate.
The opening song became the very first Japanese song to top the global Billboard 100 charts. The people of my anime list came together and went, fuck you, Fullmetal Alchemist, this is the greatest anime ever made. Then, everyone remembered there was an entire rest of the show you needed to watch. Describing the plot of Oshinoko is like, alright, so there's a doctor who's a huge fan of this one idol, then and it turns out that idol he likes shows up at the hospital, but then it turns out that he gets reborn as that idol's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not watching this.
Maybe the
Can't watch an anime like that with my ADHD. I'll get lost. And I'll still be staring at the screen an hour after it ends.
same person, maybe not, but then because his mother's really traumatic. So, it's an idol anime? No. Sometimes Oshinoko is a victim of its own insane premise. Like, I don't even know if I fully understand this main character. A grown-ass, idol-obsessed man who gets reincarnated as the son of the girl he idolized and grows up being obsessed with his now mum and any other girl who even remotely reminds him of her. Like, if I call him a motherfucker, is he more likely to say fuck you or yes please? Here's a feed of Sigmund Freud's grave right now. But behind all that, the show shines as this interesting, no bullshit, Instagram filters off look at the Japanese entertainment industry, showing you what really happens behind.
Did he just reference there's incest in that anime? Cause my gosh.
Those closed doors when the cameras are turned off.
Terrifying. That was a scary pause screen.
This was the show that tricked everyone into thinking they were watching another idol anime, when in reality it was almost the complete opposite. And the real ones know the truth and single-handedly
understand that there's
the
lots
reputation
of
of idol
incest
fans in
anime that you
2023
don't
is the
realize
sheer
are
existence
incest
of Aoi
anime.
Todo. With how popular this got, I find it interesting how much I heard this title being thrown around last year when most people saying it probably didn't even know what an Oshinoko is. See, in Japanese, Oshi means a person who I support, and in idol culture is normally used to refer to someone's favorite idol. So the term Oshinoko has a clever double meaning that could be my favorite idol or my idol's children, which both perfectly describe the show. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Oshis are worshipped in idol fandom in the same way that Taylor Swift has become the Jesus for white women.
I'm an isekai expert. I'm Giga's anime equivalent.
Saying you're a fan of isekai feels a bit like saying you're a fan of British food.
I feel like Giga
People
is
think
the
you're consuming
incest
the most
anime where I
bland,
am the...
tasteless piece of garbage the world has ever seen. But sometimes I have a friend come visit and they have a taste of a proper full English breakfast. A perfectly cooked Sunday roast. They try some of our Cornish pasties, our crisps, and it's like, damn, this is pretty good actually. That is my Eminence in Shadow. This takes every single trashy, cliche tropes you scoff at in isekai and wears it like a badge of honor. Edgy main character, an army of girls in his harem, blatant power fantasy, nonsensical plot lines, cheesy dialogue, boobs. You know it shouldn't work, but it wears it all so proudly you start getting convinced that it's actually cool. It's not that it isn't stupid. It is stupid.
I need to
but
watch
it doesn't
the rest
give
of
a
this.
fuck if you care or not. And
I
I
don't
thought this would
understand where the
eventually run
hype
its course
is
until
coming
I kept
from,
watching
so I need to
and
watch the rest of
realized
this.
that
Like, I
this has a
loved
more
the-
interesting
I-
plot and better
Otome.
world building than 90% of
Things, but-
isekai out there. Which actually
Like, did it get better? It was cool, but... Like, this is... I liked this anime. And I like this anime. Well, this anime is trash. I'll be honest. This anime's good. Which anime is this? I don't know.
He says less than you think. For as self-aware as it is, it spares no expense in building up this fully fleshed out world with so many moving parts. Every new arc, you see the dominoes being perfectly laid out. It's all set up for Sid to come in and topple them on the biggest stage possible. And even though you know it's happening, when the moment comes, it delivers. Every single time. This was the most fun I had with any show all year, and just when I think the plot has nowhere else to go, Season 2 ends with a world-shaking development that made me go, fuck! Why aren't more isekai doing this? I guess what I'm trying to say is, I really miss Greg's. One man's freedom is another man's genocide. Eren Yeager, probably. Attack on Titan ended this.
I'm not watching the 5 different final season parts, okay? Don't even ask. The second they came out with part 2 of something, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, and the internet had Opinions.
I was thinking
If
about
you only
watching
browsed
it.
Twitter, you might have thought half the people either think this was a masterpiece ending, no flaws, 10 out of 10, we all won, we all lost. Eren is a bird. Or, this ending ruined the series, ruined the characters, made the entire show pointless, spat on the legacy of everything he had done, no one's gonna remember Attack on Titan now. Eren is a bird.
Today, we're going to talk about how to stop smoking crack.
Now,
But
with
there's
real
like
people I've
5
actually talked to,
different
the consensus
freaking
seems to be that
parts
this
of
was a
the season,
satisfying
and
conclusion
they're all
that
12
did everything it
episodes.
needed to do. I had my slight nitpicks with the execution of this
I
ending,
watched
but
all the way up
absolutely none of it
to,
took
what
away
was
from my
it?
love for this
Right
series as
after
a whole.
the-
What Attack on Titan has achieved and the impact it's
The
had on
Wild
the global
Titan?
reach
Or
of
is he like
anime
the
is
hairy
something that
Titan?
will
He's
go
the
down in
monkey
history as one of
Titan? I don't know
the
what he is.
defining shows of this era. This might not be my favorite ending of all time, but it is certainly the ending to one of my favorite anime of all time. So for one last time, thank you, Attack on Titan. Only those around now will know that feeling of after years of waiting through final seasons of final parts of final episodes, 2023 was that time we could definitively say that this was the final bit of Attack on Titan we'll ever get to sell. God damn it.
And see, it's returning! What the frick? I'm done!
Sometimes you just need a dose of wholesomeness to brighten up your day.
But
being a
look,
dude
look,
watching
they're
anime can
coming out with
sometimes feel
another
like,
freaking
"So what anime
chapter."
have you been watching?" Oh, I'm watching
I'm
this
done!
anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's just one of the most cute and adorable. Yo, you catch the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen at all? There was nothing in 2023 that made me come out of every episode feeling as good as Skip and Loafer did. This shit was a weekly injection of sunshine into my veins. I mean, just look at this opening alone. The colors, the vibes, the catchy song, this goddamn dance. It's enough to make any grown-ass man internally scream, "Ah! This is so cute!" Fuck yeah, violence, am I right, lads? Skip and Loafer is about as straightforward as you can
Yeah.
get. A country bumpkin moves to the big city in a
Yeah. Violence!
to her new high school life. It doesn't need any complex plot because it exudes this air of authenticity that makes you feel so goddamn good.
Well,
It's
Ari,
rare
to
to
be
find
fair,
an
the
anime as
first
genuine as
episode
this
of Attack on
one.
Titan
Because
is
when I
way
say
more
high school
violent
life, I
than
don't mean your
all of the
typical
other
cutesy anime high
episodes in the
schoolers that
first
are like,
season.
these are teenagers, real teenagers, just enjoying their lives to the fullest. No melodrama, no overly anime bullshit. This is youth and adolescence at its most pure without feeling like it's been put through some moe anime filter, and there's just something so endearing about that. But getting a common adult, why would I be interested in teenagers? Look, as a certified man, wait, that line sounded really wrong. Look, as a certified man baby pretending to be a grown-up, let me tell you, adulting sucks. We have jobs, we have responsibilities, we have goddamn taxes. Sometimes you yearn for a time when life was simpler and more straightforward, and maybe that time is romanticized. Maybe you're looking back at that time through rose-tinted glasses. But whether you are or you aren't, you'll never know, because we'll never be able to get that time back again. Ever. And it's those little moments, those simple times you cherish and reminisce about that this show encapsulates perfectly. Like, there's this one scene where our main girl comes home for the first time during her summer break. She stayed up way too late catching up with her friends and slept in, but it's alright. Her mum's taken the day off and she has the whole summer ahead of her. So on this boiling hot day, her mum slices her up a watermelon and the episode slows down to a crawl as we see her just taking a moment to enjoy this watermelon while the sounds of summer ring on in the background, and she just stops and just appreciates. And just like that, her summer was over. When anime wants you to know one of its characters is crazy, it goes. When anime is trying to hint at something important, it's like. Subtlety in anime is using a chainsaw to dice an onion, but what happens when a show comes along that treats you like you have the IQ that Rick and Morty fans say they do? You get Heavenly Delusion. Here is a show that doesn't take you by the hand and leads you, but leaves you to discover the story on your own. It drops you into this insane world, gives you a hand-drawn scribble of a map, and says, figure it out yourself. It's episode
Figure it
1.
out
Boom, we see a duo exploring a ruin.
No one wants an anime like that. If they do, good power More power to him, but I would not like an anime like
into
that.
Tokyo that gets in some kind of altercation with some bandits. Alright, you get the idea. It's some post-apocalyptic world, people are fighting for survival, and
Would you look at that? Oh, I am.
Oh my
and
God,
I like
look
what
at
I
the
see.
What are you ladies doing?
you're praying this doesn't have the ugly bastard tag on it. The girl brings out a gun that looks like this and immediately gears start turning. Wait, is this some sci-fi world shit or is that a damn Fisher-Price toy, you think? The bandits start attacking anyway and they fight back, so you're like, ah, okay, maybe she was just bluffing, so this is just a normal world after all. Oh, that's a gun. In a single scene, the show has set
Oh,
up
that's
its
a
world,
gun
got you
gun.
asking questions, played with your expectations.
I
answered
mean,
your question,
true.
left you needing more answers, all without directly telling you a goddamn thing. This is Heavenly Delusion for all 13 episodes. This had one of the most intriguing worlds of any show this year, but trusted you to piece everything together yourself. There is no wasted scene, no
I like
out of
Giggle
character
in the
moments.
background. That
Everything is a
Giggle
possible
was my
puzzle piece that
brain
clues
at,
you
when
into
she
the bigger
fired that
picture.
gun. I
What
was like,
happens to
oh,
this
that's a
world? Why are there
gun
nightmarish
gun.
creatures that are eating people? What kind of sick experimentations is going on behind the scenes? Were you paying attention even now? Because you just saw a random drawing of a fish with legs that looks oddly like this horrific thing. And the real question is, did you see a connection without me saying anything? Only by watching intently do you realize how many crumbs are hidden in plain sight. You get given enough to get a rough idea, but never enough to see the full picture, and it's that unknown that makes this world as intriguing as it is goddamn terrifying. By the end, we've only just seen a slice of the larger whole, but it's so refreshing to see an anime that will have your neurons firing in a way where you don't have to worry about
Oh,
watching
no,
with headphones
no.
on for once.
They had body horror. I'm not good with body horror.
You know, most of the time.
I like this little silent.
And I don't want to
art
watch these
sequence in there.
Chinese cartoons, but in 2023, anime went, alright, but what if we had Chinese cartoons? Japan. Apothecary Diaries is an anime that takes place in ancient China, not China. In a palace setting
Apothecary
that
Diaries
immediately
is
reminded me
good.
of these badly dubbed Chinese soap operas I sometimes walk into my mum watching as a kid. At the beginning, I didn't fully realize
Apothecary's
what the big hook of this show
Diaries is
was. Was it the
amazing.
House MD style medical detective stories? Was it the historical drama surrounding the palace politics? Yes. But on top of that, it has, simply put, the best female character we could find all year. And sometimes, that's all it takes. For far too long, anime seems to think we want only one thing, and it's this. No. How about nothing more than just a well-written, believable, compelling female protagonist? And this. Mao Mao is a character that deserves to be in the running for one of the best protagonists we saw in 2023, and was such a breath of fresh air to see. Her presence was overpowering without conforming to what a lot of shows seem to think a good female character is. It's not that she's not like other girls, or premium waifu bait, or a strong female character trademark. She's just a girl. A well-written, believable one that doesn't forget that she's a person first before being just another girl. She doesn't have to be unfeminine to find the overly flirtatious attitude of some pretty boy unappealing. She cannot be your typical waifu bait and still absolutely slay when she needs to. She's not strong because she can beat up 100 guys, but because she's headstrong in her own values and beliefs. Here is a clever realist who acknowledges her place in the palace hierarchy but isn't afraid to throw hands when shit needs to get done. Damn, my girl just factory reset that bitch. Seeing Mao Mao passionately solve these medical mysteries while asserting
Giga,
that
stop
fucking
beating my
dominance all over
brain.
the palace politics made this such a compelling watch. And hopefully more shows will be able to take note of great characters like this.
That's exactly what I said during anime night. I was like, dang, she got reset.
Appreciating the statue of David up close, getting to see Lionel Messi dribble past 5 players, watching Jack Nicholson command every scene he's in. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is, it's always enthralling to see an absolute master of their craft at work. And that's the exact feeling I get whenever I get to see anything written by Naoki Urasawa. And Pluto was absolutely no exception.
Oh, this is one of the ones that I was thinking about watching.
Robot that was perfect. The greatest robot the world has ever seen.
There are only a few mangaka that can boast such a legendary status as Urasawa himself. When you have a track record of titles like Monster, an absolute masterpiece with arguably the greatest villain anime has seen. 20th Century Boys, not just my favorite manga of all time, but one of my favorite pieces of fiction to exist. Pluto is meant to be one of his weaker works, according to diehard fans. And goddamn, if this is him operating at his lowest potential, this is like sending in your weakest fighter, and that fighter turns out to be Gojo fucking Satoru, and wait. Yeah, that analogy checks out. This has all the calling cards of a classic Urasawa tale. He sets the stage, a sci-fi world where humans and robots coexist, a series of unsolved murders, a detective that is missing part of his memories, a robot that has done the impossible and taken a human life. He hooks you into his world and leaves you with a single question when the first episode ends. Just how deep does this rabbit hole go? The man's ability to construct a mystery and captivate an audience through his mastery of suspense, to me, has the same level of craftsmanship as seeing a master blacksmith make a legendary sword. Every episode is so dense with emotion, a plot that will keep you guessing through all the twists and turns, sitting on top of the sheer thematic depth of the story that every single character carries on their back. And by the end of it all, he'll leave you with these ideas that you'll be thinking about far after the credits roll. This is some of the finest storytelling you can find anywhere. If I had to make a guess why this didn't make as big of an impact as it probably should have, well, this was an adaptation of a sci-fi manga that was written 20 years ago that was originally a reimagining of Astro Boy, a manga that came out 60 years ago. So, inevitably, there might be some aspects that feel
there's
outdated.
Astro Boy
What's this?
anime.
A war involving the invasion of some Middle Eastern
really
country
hard to find,
predicated
though,
on the
usually.
possible developments of robots of mass destruction? Oh hey, there's a guy called Adolf. He's a bad guy.
I couldn't agree with you more, my dear Adolf.
But along with a slightly lukewarm ending, this doesn't take away from the legacy of one of the greatest mangakas alive right now. So,
Wow,
I have one question left. Are we ready to
They're
attempt
just like
a
stepping
20th
around the
Century
blade,
Boys
aren't
anime?
they? Just really close to that particular.
Domain expansion.
When you watch an action anime, you normally go through a season where you might see a ton of great action, but you know it all builds up to this one, or at most 2
Here's the
episodes
thing.
where the production values skyrocket.
Here's the thing about Jujutsu Kaisen. If they go by the manga in the next season, the anime will die. Because I don't think the manga understands how much his character is loved.
And you're treated
There's a
to this
reason all the memes
insanely
are about
animated fight
Gojo
that will
and
drop
not
your
anything
jaw
about-
to the floor. These are the scenes that everyone remembers and defines the top fights of the year. Jujutsu Kaisen went, how about we do that? For every single episode.
Like, I love,
I don't think I've ever quite experienced the collective adrenaline-filled ride Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has given me. You put on an
His name's
episode and be
Yuji?
watching some of the
I love
sickest shit
Yuji.
that's ever been put on screen, and you think
But
to yourself, there's
you
no
put
way they
my
could ever
favorite
top
girl
this.
in a
And it's at
coma.
that moment the show will look you dead in the eye and go,
And then
I'll
you're
fucking do it
hinting at
again.
putting
And then it does. Again and again and
Gojo
again and
in
again
a
and
cell
again and again.
for
So many amazing moments, so many sick-ass scenes.
3
Midway through the
seasons to
season,
kill
the
them off
hype
later.
got to me, and I excitedly tweeted out, it should be goddamn illegal for an anime to go this hard. That was the same day all this came out. One of the biggest talking points has been Mappa's treatment of their animators during the season, and I think it's a testament to the blood, sweat, and tears poured into this that we got a product this fantastic despite the hellish working conditions they were going through. Demon Slayer, Mob Psycho, this may not have gotten the opportunity to be as polished as shows like that, but it is unmatched when it comes to its raw stylistic flair. Every single fight has a unique identity not constrained to one genre of action. We got gritty hand-to-hand combat, citywide disaster-level brawls, insanely unique powers, idle dance beatdowns, there was a mecha fight, a fucking mecha fight in a shonen anime, the amount of hype, the amount of fucking sheer disrespect, we got fucking rabbits throwing hands! This was one of the greatest showcases I've ever seen of, for lack of a better term, fucking cool shit. This felt like the purest celebration of fight scenes and choreography.
Yuji,
We were in
but
the audience
I
that got
feel
to
like
marvel
Yuji
at the
still needs
symphony
more
of
time
some of
on
the
budget.
coolest set pieces you can find in the medium. The
Yuji
Shibuya arc
doesn't
may
seem
not have been
nearly
peak
as-
storytelling or the peak
'Cause
of
he's
all shonen arcs,
constantly
but right
losing.
now this
Constantly.
is the peak of action spectacle.
You're not giving Yuji enough, like, help here.
The way elves see this world is a
If
mystery.
you lock away Gojo
Thank you for
right after Yuji
solely
just spent an
because of
entire
you.
episode
This
losing,
retired
people are gonna be
hero
like,
could
well,
have
what's the
one
point?
final adventure.
He's gonna have super plot armor after this for a while. He's just gonna suddenly start winning, even though he
Frieren
spent
opens
the
on the
entire
story
thing
of an elf
losing.
girl who takes for granted the time she has with the people around her. Decades pass in the blink of an eye, her companions age, and before she has the chance to fully get to know them, they're gone. It's a regretful, poignant tale that shoots straight to your goddamn soul. And then the opening's like... The show took a different approach to fantasy adventure while encapsulating everything that the genre is about. There might not be any demon lord to defeat or world to save, but instead we have a journey about appreciating the smaller things in your life, the beautiful things you might have missed if you forgot to look for them. I showed this to a mate and he was like, Freeren? You mean side quests, the anime? And I bloody ate him. Because of how fucking accurate that is. It is through those detours you take along the road to your destination that Freeren absolutely shines. It's the type of show that grips you without ever needing to hit you with any flashy, high-intensity action scenes to keep your attention. And then it hits you with these flashy, high-intensity action scenes.
I don't like
didn't need to go hard in its animation in any way, shape, or form, but chooses to do so anyway. This is what it's like to watch a fully polished product. But like Freeren's own journey, these are not the moments that stick with you. For the world-saving adventure she went on, the slice of memories we get are those small moments that really defined the time she spent with her party. And as she forms new bonds, you start to see those small pieces she begins to pick up from the people around her that slowly become a part of her. This is what every fantasy tale aspires to be. It's shows like these that somehow make you nostalgic for an experience you've never had, friends you've never made, but at its heart, it's a gentle reminder to cherish the things in your life. And this is like really one of the only anime where
they like literally showed you that yeah, elves are gonna live forever as opposed to a human. Cause like all her, we have a ad break right now on the final anime. Wow, Twitch. I'll keep it paused for you guys, because I know a lot of you can't see. $20 more seconds, and then I'll unpause.
Gonna lose focus for a second. I'll be picking out the gore manga I grew up reading.
I don't want to know. I don't like gore manga. And welcome back! And I just unpaused it, so...
I will be reborn.
Is this Ben now? Now tell me straight, guys. Those of you who've watched this anime, is this anime literally, Vikings the anime? Like, is it about Ragnar? Like, is Ragnar in it and stuff? Because if it is, I would totally
all we've ever wanted. Something in this world that can give us a reason to keep going.
No, not like the Viking series.
The Viking
when I was a kid, my father would read me bedtime stories that my childish mind would always be absolutely immersed in. Accounts of hungry caterpillars, rainbow fishes, ugly ducklings. These were the greatest stories I'd ever heard. Because they were. But it would always end off with a message.
Well, no, like, is it like Vikings
that got planted in my head that would hopefully sprout into a lesson that would stick with me. And as you grow older, start learning new lessons by experiencing real life, you forget the effect that stories can have on you. A good story can not only entertain you, it can move you, give you a new perspective, teach you something
that
you
level
never knew you could
of
learn
good,
that you can take
like,
far
is it
beyond
that
the
level of,
confounds
like,
of watching some
storytelling?
Piece of entertainment. That's
because if it is,
the
I'll give it
power
a chance.
of a great tale, and that
like it won't be Ragnar, but it. Like if it has like the level of storytelling, then
I cannot begin to describe the sheer effect this show had on me. Season 1 was a compelling adventure filled with tragedy, vengeance, and violence. So to anyone coming into this season blind, you probably would have been taken aback. The violence takes a backseat to a pure, methodical character
if it's really
drama.
good, then I'll give it a
Vengeance has
chance.
been replaced by a saga of redemption
That might be
and
added to
acceptance.
anime night.
Honor, glory, sacrifice, all left by the wayside, and all that remains is people just trying their best to find their place in this
we need to put like a
merciless
list
world.
of
While most series would
anime
cower
now.
at the thought of shifting
good God,
gears
we
this
have-
drastically, it is that strong juxtaposition that
Gosh.
gives Villain Saga's message the weight it has, exemplified by possibly the greatest character development we've ever seen in this
There is
medium.
no greater
Thorfinn's
Viking than
transformation
Ragnar.
is something
I'm
that
sorry.
transcends entertainment. A man
Vikings the TV show went way downhill after like season 2. We'll have to wait and see how bad the anime gets.
Ask for absolution.
Has Boka heard of Pandora Hearts?
Ask for absolution. The little piggies will grunt when they hear how their own balls of it.
That man's badass.
Ping me by name when Vinland Saga Night. I will show up.
Who starts
man
off
is
as a
badass.
shell of a human, broken, empty,
Getting
unworthy
tortured
of redemption, but
and
through
choked
every person he meets,
and all this
every
other stuff,
relationship he forms,
and all
he starts to
and
learn
then
to pick up the broken
he goes
pieces
to say
of his
something.
former self.
It's not like
that
begging for
slowly but
forgiveness or
surely
the absolution the
fill
man
his
wants
soul
him to
up.
do.
As you see him encounter
You
conflict,
just, like,
you'll secretly
he's
wish
thinking
for
about
that
his
instant
children and
gratification
how
that he'll revert back to his previous
sad and
savage
annoyed
self.
and
But
angry
as you
they'll
witness
be
this journey
when they
of a
find
man
out how
fighting
he
so
suffered.
desperately to find peace, who learns that it's okay not just to forgive others, but to forgive himself as well,
He
it
doesn't even
becomes
care.
an experience that will linger with you
He's like,
and
"Frick
invites
you,
you
man."
to find your own solace. Watching Vinland Saga feels like
I
I'm
think
getting read
my
the greatest
sons
bedtime
will
story
have
ever told by my dad.
more of a problem
It'll
with
grip
this
you with
than
the
I
purest
do.
of tales packed with nothing but raw human emotion that will leave your heart filled to the brim. And by the end of it all, it gives you something, a message, a lesson it earnestly hopes you can take with you. It reminds you that change isn't just something that exists
no,
in the boundaries
there's
of a
another
fictional
scene
story. It doesn't
where
come
he's
easy.
in
It's
a
long,
cage
hard,
over a viper
unforgiving
pit.
road, but you can get there.
He knows
even
what's
if
about
every
to happen.
day
This is right
you
after
only
they
take
tortured
one
him, and
small
he said-
step at a time. We will always find a reason to fight each other,
And
no
he's
matter
just-
what time
he's just
period we
like-
are in, weapons we can use, or tools we have at our disposal.
I do
but no
hope
matter
my
how
sons
broken
are
you
kind
think
to
the world
you.
is, there is still meaning.
Like,
in
he
trying to
doesn't
build
care.
a better tomorrow. Maybe
He's
tomorrow
like,
I can make a brighter day come.
I think
Maybe
his
tomorrow
quote is
I can
literally,
be just that little bit
"I-
kinder. Maybe
the
tomorrow
Valkyries
I can
will
become a
welcome
slightly
me
better version of myself.
into Valhalla.
You are capable of letting go of that
For I have
hatred,
fought.
even if that hatred is towards yourself.
There's a spin-off
no
Valhalla?
enemies.
Nah. If it don't got Ragnar in it, it's not worth my time. The two characters I cared about died, and the second my last favorite character died, I was like, well, time to go. Well, I had 3 favorite characters. But alrighty then. That was pretty good, guys. And the react stuff seems to look pretty good. I hope you guys like it.
Hey, wait! Hey guys, come watch me at twitch.tv/BokaTheTrack, or I'll kill you. Okay, now we can.
Boka.
Alright guys, have fun!
LMAO.
Ah, crapper. I messed it up. Crappers! There we go. Guys, have fun! I love
Boka is
you!
very tiny.
No, I'm not. Your face is tiny. Let's be honest here.